Alright, today I'm going to do a unboxing of the MTB Pro Box. If you don't know what Mystery Tackle Box is, they're a subscription-based company. So basically, you can pay X amount of dollars. This particular box I think is $20, and the normal one is $15. Not the Pro Box, but the normal Mystery Tackle Box. And you pay that money, and monthly you get a box of tackle. I believe they have a pan fishing box and an ice fishing box, and obviously the bass fishing box that I have here. And it basically ships every month. It ships out on the 10th of every month, and normally I get it around the 14th or 15th. But you have no clue what lures are coming, and a lot of times they send you really cool lures. Normally, you pay $20 for this box, and I believe it's going to be around $30 to $40 of tackle that you get. So you save some money, and it's neat because you get lures that maybe you would have never picked up off of, let's say, Tackle Warehouse or Bass Pro, and gives you the ability to fish some really cool lures. In this video, I'm basically going to go through the lures in the box. Then I'm going to talk about the rods I would throw each lure on, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with that kind of thing, and just go through the box and talk about the lures and give my 2 cents on what I think about it. So let's get started. First off, I have opened up this box. I got it yesterday, so I did open it up. Sorry about that. Some of the packaging isn't going to be exactly like you would get it in the box, but it's good enough. It'll still show you the bait. First off, you're going to get a Mystery Tackle Box sticker. I got 1,000 of them laying around from all my old boxes. Then you're going to get a Match the Hatch card that basically it's like a scratch off like you'd get at Food Line or a gas station or whatever for your prize. And there's a bunch of different prizes from Lowrance, T. Allen rods, Bobber, the castable fish finder, buck knife, Straight King, all that kind of thing. I didn't win any in this. I've already scratched it off, but it's a neat little contest they got going on. Then you get the Dibble Digest, and this is basically like a little miniature magazine, and they have an article this particular month about gear ratios, choosing the right crankbait for the conditions, deep structure fishing, choosing the right rod, jig skirts, kind of just neat little articles that that'll help some of you who maybe don't know that kind of thing. Then next you're going to get your card, and what this card is going to tell you is basically all the lures on all the lures that are in your box. Sorry if you can't see that very well. I got sunlight. I'm in my garage sitting in the boat now, and sunlight's coming in, so sorry if you can't see it. But basically this is going to tell you all your baits that you have in this box. It's going to tell you your retail price. And one thing that I really like about these Pro Boxes is everything is a full pack. In the normal Mystery Tackle Box, if it's a 6-pack, you may get 3 of them. But in this, you're going to get full packs. Like here, there's hooks, so you're going to get full packs of hooks and full packs of plastics. So that's what's nice about that MTB Pro Box. But I'm going to start out with the first lure here, which is the Cyclone Classic Platinum Spinnerbait. Now I don't have the backing, little paper that goes in the package, but I don't really need it. I'll just show you the spinnerbait. The little write-up on it says, this spinnerbait is made with the finest components, including scaled blades. It's the pro's choice when the money is on the line. And what they mean by scaled blades is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you got little indentions in the blades. Sort of like on the War Eagles, you have the option to get hammer blades. And I think it just puts off a little bit extra vibration, just because the water is hitting a rough surface instead of a smooth surface. Looks like you have looks like I got some kind of minnow color. As you can see there, chartreuse with some gray and white in it. I keep it pretty simple with spinnerbaits. Normally I throw white and chartreuse, or white and or bluegill color. Doesn't say what weight this is, but it looks to be a 1/4. It's got a pretty small head on it. Seems like a pretty cool bait though. It retails for $6.79. It's actually a Cyclone series by V&M, You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with V&M tackle, but seems like a pretty nice spinnerbait. Skirt seems pretty good. It's got a nice hook. I believe it's a mustad hook. Blades seem to be pretty nice. This particular one's a double willow. And the baits in the box isn't going to be the same for everybody. There's two different boxes. I believe one goes to a certain part of the country and another goes to the other part. I believe. Don't take that for 100% truth, but that's what I think. But they'll vary colors and stuff. But it seems like a pretty nice spinnerbait. Like I said, I got it yesterday, so I haven't had any time to throw any of the lures. So don't take anything that I have to say with complete definite. This is just all first impressions. Seems pretty nice though. Alright, moving on. Next on the list is the Boyd Duckett Popper by Castaic. Hopefully you can see that. And it says in the write-up, whether it's steadily chugged or quickly burned, the double shot rattle and cut mouth work to create a substantial disturbance on the surface. And this appears to be in some type of bluegill pattern, as you can see. Got a little red feather on the back. Katana hooks. I've used a few of the Boyd Duckett baits, and they're pretty nice. I've used his, I think it's the BD12 deep diving crankbait, and they are pretty nice. But that bait retails for $6.99 on Tackle Warehouse or Bass Pro or whatever. But it seems like a pretty nice popper. Next we have the Colt Fishtail by Biovex. You can see it there. It looks like some type of watermelon color. And this is a drop shot worm, 3-inch. And it says here in the write-up, this finesse plastic quivers like a scared minnow. On a drop shot rig, it dances, darts, and produces lifelike bubbles with the slightest rod twitch. Looks like a neat little worm. Sort of got that bait fish type color to it. Seems pretty cool. Moving on, we got something to pair up with that. It's the extra wide gap drop shot hook by Skinny Bear. Oh, and by the way, this retails for $5.95. Drop shot hooks by Skinny Bear, and this particular one's a skinny 6-pack. Retails for $2.49, and in the write-up it says gives the plastics bait more room and allows for better hook penetration. It is one of the sharpest hook points on the market at an affordable price. And it is an affordable price, $2.49 for 6 of them. That's pretty good compared to Trocar. But like I said, haven't had a chance to fish with them, but they seem pretty nice. Pointy like a hook should be. Moving on, we have the Dahlberg Clacking Crawfish. This retails for $13.64. It's by River to Sea. Pretty neat bait. I've seen them on Tackle Warehouse and stuff. But it says in the write-up, designed by legendary fisherman Larry Dahlberg. You can fish it like a jig or swim it along the bottom. Lethal on drops, flats, and weed lines. It seems like a pretty cool bait. Really lifelike appendages and stuff. I'm not much for fishing crawfish stuff in the fall. Normally, we're fishing bait fish imitations. But, you know, it's something that you normally want to probably pick up from Tackle Warehouse, and you can always throw it in a box for the springtime when the crawfish are more active. But pretty cool bait there, and expensive bait, $13.64. You know, so you're already in, you know, and 3 baits have more than what you pay for the box. So it's a good little deal. And then lastly, which is something I'm really fond of, as you know by my YouTube name, is a square bill crankbait. This particular one is the KJ crankbait by Kahara Baits. It retails for $10.99. And this is a unique crankbait. I'll take it out of the package here in a minute. The write-up says greater on heavy cover and almost entirely snagless, featuring a hollow body double frog hook, and one can also add additional terminal if desired. And what they're talking about, that frog hook, for those of you who are familiar with hollow body frogs, this is a hollow body crankbait, as you can see here. And it has dual frog hooks, just like a frog would have. and also a treble hook on the back. And you also have a loop right here in case you wanted to put another split ring and another treble hook just to fish in open water. Square bill. I haven't had a chance to run this in my pool yet, but it does seem pretty cool. I mean, it's a great design. I thought it's really neat. You know, I fish a lot of heavy cover with a square bill crankbait, and it'd be nice if this bait works pretty good. You know, I'm gonna have to play it by ear. It seems like it, you know, I guess it would run true. Seems like it may have problems running true, and also I don't know how the hookup's gonna be if you take that treble hook off. That's just my first thoughts when I saw it, but it's in a fire tiger color. It's definitely something interesting to try. It'll definitely be neat. I like that. I like testing new baits like that. But that's all that's in the box. I'm going to take you through what rods I'll throw it on now, as well as line and reels. But as you can see, you know, with these baits, the first two baits retail for $6.79 and $6.99, which those two baits are the Cyclone Classic Platinum spinnerbait by V&M, as you can see. The next one is the Boyd Ducket Popper by Castaic, $6.99. The next one is the Colt Fishtail by Biovex, that retails for $5.95. Then we have the Extra Wide Gap Drop Shot Hook by Skinny Bear for $2.49, 6-pack. Then we have the Dahlberg Clackin' Crankfish by, or Clackin' Crayfish by River to Sea, $13.64 retail price. And now we have the KJ Crankbait by Kahara Baits, $10.99 retail price. Alright, now I'm going to go through the rods. Starting out with what I just went through. This Cyclone spinnerbait here, I would throw this, since it is a spinnerbait and it's a relatively smaller spinnerbait, I would throw this on a 7-foot medium heavy. This particular rod is the Smoke Speed Freak, or Smoke PTA, excuse me, by Quantum, and it's a little bit more limber, medium heavy, and I keep it around for lighter plastics, flipping 10-inch worms, skipping smaller jigs, like maybe I want to skip a 3/8 ounce all-terrain tackle jig with a little menace on the back, you know, whereas maybe a stiffer rod would have trouble skipping that because it is a little grub. I could put it on a little bit more limber action. Line-wise, I don't have any line on this reel right now, but this is a Quantum Smoke reel, 7/3-1, and I would throw it on 17 to 20 pound mono or fluorocarbon. You can get away with it on braid, but I like something with a little bit more stretch than that braid for my spinnerbait. And what that 7/3-1 will allow you to do is, one, if you want to get this spinnerbait, you know, it's small blade, so it's going to run pretty fast. If you want to get that thing right up under the surface, you know, hold the rod up high and reel it pretty quickly and wake it, you know, to where there's a cavitation from the blades, you can, and you know, in ultra shallow water you can do that. Or if you want to toss it out there and slow roll it, you know, you can just toss it and slow roll it, and this setup is great for it. The fast reel also allows you, if you hook a big one in heavy cover, to be able to have that extra speed and pull them out. But that's my choice for the spinnerbait. These smoke rods are pretty awesome, but not going to talk about that too much. That's another video. Next we have the BD Popper. And I would throw that. Actually, I need to grab the rod real quick. I was stupid enough to not grab it. I would throw the BD Popper on, this is an Enigma Fishing Aaron's Edge rod here. It is the 7.2 medium action cranking rod. Got a Lew's 7.5-1 Lew's Tournament MB on here right now. But this is a rod I throw 1.5s on, poppers like the BD Popper, anything I need that's real small, you know, reaction bait type deal. It's got a very parabolic bend to it, as you can see, a lot of bend, and that's what you want, a lot of tip, and for casting that lighter little popper, it's great. And also when you hook the fish, he'll have enough bend in the rod to where you're not going to pull the hook free. As far as line goes, that comes to personal preference. I would throw it on 14-pound monofilament. This is Berkeley Trilene XL Smooth Cast. Or you could get away with braid. And heavier cover, I will throw it on braid. Normally 30 or 40 pound. And I personally throw Sunline SX1 or Suffolk 832. That's your personal preference. Those are two lines I like, but whatever you like is fine. Next we have the Colt Fishtail and the extra wide gap drop shot hook by Skinny Bear. I'm gonna put those two together as if you were doing an MTB Slam. You know, you'd throw those two together. I'd throw these two baits on another Enigma fishing rod. This is the Aaron's Edge again, and it's the spinning rod. It's a 7.2 medium action spinning rod. Sorry, I got my line tangled up around the guides here. But it's a 7.2 medium action spinning rod, and it's sort of my all-around spinning rod. I don't use a spinning rod a whole lot, but when I do, this is the one I use. It's a real limber action, as you can see right there. Sorry if you can't see that real good. And I got a Smoke 25 size reel. I like the smaller 25 reels, mainly because they're lighter and I don't need a ton of line. But 25 size reel, and depending on the water clarity, I would fish 20-pound braid and or 6 to 8 pound fluorocarbon. And I'd probably put a 3/16 or an 1/8 ounce weight or more, depending on, you know, water depth. But that would be the rod I'd throw that on. You know, it's a finesse rig. A spinning rod is what you want. You can get away with it on a bait caster, but a spinning rod's going to make your day a lot easier. Light line, you know, like I said, 20-pound braid or 6 to 8 pound fluorocarbon. Nice limber rod, so you don't pull that little bitty hook out of a big fish's mouth. And that's what you're going to want right there. Next up, we have the Dahlberg Clacking Crayfish. And, you know, there it is again. You've seen it probably 5 times now, but I'll show you it again. I would throw this on the 7.3 medium action. This is another Enigma Fishing Aaron's Edge. I throw it on a 7.3 medium heavy, excuse me, I said medium, but medium heavy mag bass rod. This particular rod is basically meant for heavy cover, big baits. You know, maybe if you're going to throw a 3/4 or 1/2 ounce spinner bait, something like that. You know, and this is a 3/4 ounce crawfish, so you want something a little bit bigger rod, and that's what I would throw that crawfish on. Most likely, probably 20-pound fluorocarbon, or if you wanted to throw braid, I'd probably throw 50 or 60-pound Sunline FX2. And the reel I would throw it on is a 7.2-to-1 Shimano Sitica I. Probably one of my favorite reels. But I would probably opt for a 20-pound fluorocarbon. But if you wanted to go with braid, like I said, the 50 or 60-pound Sunline FX2 would be good. But you know, the reason I picked this rod is it's a very stiff action. It's long, so I can chuck that big old crawfish. If one bites it, I can horse him out of the cover. And that's what you want for that big bait right there. Big rod. And then last up, we have the, I believe last up, we have the KJ Crankbait by Kahara Baits. Right here, you know, you've seen it again, the hollow body crankbait. I would throw this particular bait, you know, and before I started this video, I was thinking what I wanted to throw it on. It's light, you know, if you ever pick it up, it's light, so I was debating, do I want to throw it on the cranking rod, you know, that I just showed you for the popper, or do I want to throw it on a jig rod? And I think if you were going to throw it on heavy cover, throw it in heavy cover, without the treble hook, you would need the jig rod. And the reason why is, it's just like a frog. You know, you're going to have to move that body out of the way and drive those little bitty hooks in there. You know, there's very little distance between the body and the hook, so you're going to have a rod that's stout enough to drive it in. And the rod I'll choose for that is another Enigma Aaron's Edge series rod. 7-foot medium heavy mag bass. You know, it's basically the scaled down version of the 7.3 medium heavy that I just showed you. You know, this is my all-around rod. I throw bigger spinner baits, you know, 3/8 or 1/2 ounce spinner baits on this. I'll throw a jig. You know, if I'm skipping, I'll throw a jig. Flip creature baits with it. Just about anything you throw on this rod, a chatterbait, buzzbait, whatever. Shimano Sitka eye reel, just like the other one, 7.2-to-1. And for this, since it is like a frog, you know, you're opted to go with fluorocarbon like normal crankbaits, but for me, I'd probably go with 40 or 50 pound. If I'm going to throw 40, I'll go with Suffix 832 and or Sunline SX1. And if I'm going to go with 50, I'll go to the Sunline FX2. That's my favorite braid, but unfortunately they only make it in 50 or 60. But that's my personal favorite setup. 7-foot medium heavy mag bass to throw that KJ crankbait. 7.2-to-1 Sitka eye reel. 40 or 50 pound braid. And you know, that ought to be plenty of stout rod and plenty of line to drive those hooks in. You know, with the treble hook, if you're going to throw it with the treble hook on there, I would throw it on a cranking rod. I would switch to braid still, but I would throw it on the, you know, with, you know, on the 7.2 medium action cranking rod with probably 30 or 40 pound braid, if you're going to throw the treble hook. But if you're going to take that treble hook off, you know, and throw it along grass or something, I'd go to the 7-foot medium heavy. That's my personal preference. You know, like I said, I haven't tested any of these baits, but those would be the rods I'd throw them on. Once I do test them, I'll make a video reviewing them. But that is the MTB Pro Box unboxing for the month of October, I believe. Man, that's pretty bad that I don't know the month. October, yep. My stupid tail don't remember the month. But MTB Pro unboxing for the month of October. Happy Halloween, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And give the subscribe button a click and the like button, and stay tuned for some more videos. Thank you, guys.